Today we're going to have a look at calculating area and perimeter involving this circle. Okay, we're going to start just by looking at the circle itself, which should be revision of National 4 level work, and then we'll move on to composite shapes that include the circle. Okay, so main parts of the circle then, just in case anyone needs a reminder, all the way around the outside of the circle. So all the way around here, the bit in purple, that is called the circumference. So that would be the circumference of the circle. Any line that goes from one side to the other, that also goes through the middle, is called a diameter. And any line that goes from the centre of a circle to the edge of the circle is called the radius. The radius is half the size of the diameter. So if you want to find the radius when you've got the diameter, you can half it. And same but the other way around, the diameter is twice the size of the radius. So you can take the radius and double it. Okay. Finding the circumference of a circle then. Circumference of a circle has the formula C equals pi d, and the area of a circle has the formula A equals pi r squared. Let's have a look at some examples. Okay, we're going to find the circumference of these two circles. First thing we write down is always going to be our formula. So the formula for the circumference of a circle is C equals pi d. Now pi, I'm sure you'll have seen before, is a Greek letter and it's a constant and it just means 3.14. So you can use 3.14 or you can use the pi button on your calculator. I'm just going to move this calculator in a bit so you can see all of it. I'll try to anyway. Oh, there we go. So the pi button on this calculator here, I press shift and then pi. If I press equals, you'll see it expands it out a wee bit further. Now pi goes on forever. 3.14 is a fine approximation to use for pi. You don't need any more than that. Okay. The diameter of this circle then is 4 centimetres. So to find the circumference, we do pi times 4. I'm going to use the pi button. If you prefer, you can use 3.14. So 4 times pi is 12.57 to 2 decimal places. Looking at the next one, still want to calculate the circumference. I'm still using the formula C equals pi d. I need to know the diameter of a circle so that I can calculate the circumference. This time, instead of being given the diameter, I have been given the radius. I can still work it out because I know that the diameter is double the radius. So if my radius is 3 centimetres, my diameter is double that, which is 6 centimetres. So to find my circumference this time, doing pi times 6. So my circumference is pi times 6, which is 18.85 centimetres. Okay, let's have a look at area of a circle as well. That didn't work. Right, there we go. Area of a circle. Why is that way over there? There we go. So area of a circle. Area of a circle has the formula A equals pi r squared. A wee reminder, if you're squaring something, you're timesing it by itself. For example, 2 squared means 2 times 2, which is 4. 5 squared means 5 times 5, which would be 25, and so on. Okay, here our radius is 2.7, so our area is pi times 2.7 squared. Now hopefully you're all using scientific calculators for this, so you can just use the squared button on your calculator, but if not, you'll need to type in 2.7 times 2.7. And if you're using your phone, turn it on its side or download an app for your scientific calculator to make it easier for you. Pi times 2.7 squared equals 22.9, and we're dealing with an area, so my units must be centimetres squared. That wasn't a very good 2. Let's try that one again. Looks more like a 3, doesn't it? It should just be a 2. Yep. Another area one then. Area of a circle is again pi r squared. This time we've been given the diameter of the circle. I want the radius. My diameter is 9, so my radius must be half of that, which is 4.5 centimetres. So my area is pi times 4.5 squared, which is, let's get the calculator out, pi times 4.5 squared, oh that's 45, let's not do that, 4.5 squared, that's better, which is 63.62. Again, it's an area, so centimetres squared. Okay, if you're not confident with those ones, you might want to pause the video there and go and practice some just finding the circumference, finding the area of circles before we move on to the next ones. I'm just going to keep going with this and have a look at area and perimeter of composite shapes. Okay, so example number 3, we want to find the area and perimeter of this shape. So I'm going to start with the perimeter. The perimeter is the distance right the way around the outside. So if we're looking at this shape here, that's 5, that's 20, that's 5. So I know it needs to be 5, add 20, add 5, but then I need to add in this part round here. Now that's a semicircle. So I need to add in half the circumference of that circle there. So I need to start by finding the circumference of the full circle. And I use that using the same formula as I have before. Always going to be the formula we use to find the circumference of a circle. So C equals pi d. The diameter of that circle is 20 centimetres. So we're doing pi times 20, which is start again, pi times 20, which is 62.83. So add on my, oh no, don't add on my 62.83, getting ahead of myself here. What do I need to do before I add it on? I don't have a full circle, I only have half a circle, so I don't need the full circumference of a circle, I only need half the circumference. So I'm going to divide it by 2. Which is 31.42 centimetres. So let's add on that 31.42. Not left myself much room here, I'll just put the answer over here. Plus 5 plus 20 plus 5, and we get a perimeter of 61.42 centimetres. Okay, so that was the circumference. Let's try the area. I'm just going to change colour pen here so you can see the difference. So the area then, I've got 2 different shapes. I'm going to call them 1 and 2. 1 is a rectangle. Area of a rectangle is L times B, or just LB if you prefer. In this case, it's going to be 20 times 5, which is 100 centimetres squared. 2 is a semicircle. We're going to start by finding the area of the full circle, using the same formula as before, which is pi r squared. So we're doing pi times, now the diameter of the circle is 20. The diameter of the circle is 20. Then the radius of the circle is half of that, which is 10. So it's going to be pi times 10 squared. Which is 314.16. So that's a full circle. Don't want a full circle. We just want half a circle. So I need to divide it by 2. Which is 157.08. I then want to get my total area. I've got my rectangle, I've got my semicircle, so I need to add them together. And remember your units at the end as well. So the area for that one will be 257.08 centimetres squared. Okay, last example then. Again, we're going to find the area and perimeter of composite shape. So here we have a rectangle, and this time, instead of having a semicircle added onto it, it's had a semicircle taken away from it. Okay, start with the perimeter then. So the perimeter, if I start here, that gives me 30. I then add on 24. I then add on another 30 for this part here. And then I need to add on this curved section here. And that's the bit I don't know. So that's the bit I need to work out. That is a semicircle again. So I'm going to start with finding the circumference of a full circle. Same formula as ever, C equals pi d. The diameter of the circle is 24. It's going to be pi times 24, which is 75.4. That was a full circle. Don't want a full circle, so we need to half it, which is 37.7. Add that to my perimeter. We're adding on 30, 24, and 30. We get to 121.7. And remember our units, centimetres. Okay, last wee bit then, let's have a look at the area. I'm going to do the same again. I'm going to split it into two shapes. Shape number one is going to be my full rectangle, so all the way down, all the way up. Sorry about that bad drawing there. And shape number two is going to be my semicircle here. So area of a rectangle, L times B, which is 30 times 24, which is 720 squared. Area of a circle is pi r squared. Your diameter here is 24. So your radius is half of that, which is 12. So to find the area, we're doing pi times 12 squared, which is 452.39. Again, that is for a full circle. We don't have a full circle, we've only got half a circle, so I'm going to half it. Some people prefer to write this when they know they're doing a semicircle as a half pi r squared, so they don't forget to half it at the end. If you want to do that, that's absolutely fine, it's the same thing. That gives me, oh, I forgot to memorise that answer, 226.19. And then this time, instead of adding them together, my shape is a a rectangle with that semicircle cut out from it, with that semicircle missing. So instead of adding it this time, I need to take it away. So the area of the shape is going to be 720, take away 226.19. 710 226.19 equals 493.81 centimetres squared. I'll leave you to try some of these. As ever, get in touch if you need any help.